Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now, today's first story comes from NoCut207 from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit and says, Am I the Arsehole for giving away my dad and my sister's tickets to my graduation ceremony and telling them to not bother showing up? I, 18 female, have my high school graduation ceremony this Wednesday. It was sent to my parents in an email that I will be giving a speech that day as my grades made me valedictorian of my school's class of 2024, and I was excited to do so. My school made us reserve and buy tickets to the ceremony weeks in advance, and I picked mine up on the 26th. The problem started at dinner when I told my family I picked up the tickets for my graduation day and would keep them with me until the day of just to make sure they don't get lost. My dad told me that he and his sister had plans for an hour before the ceremony, but that my mum would be there for the whole time, and that they'd tried to be there for the after party. I was honestly shocked for a moment, before starting to laugh, assuming they weren't serious. When I realized they actually weren't joking, I'll admit I was a bit mad. I'm usually a very shy and non-confrontational person, even around my family, but I started yelling at my dad and sister, asking if they were seriously ditching my graduation ceremony. I told them that the after party was useless to attend, and that all the pictures of the graduates with their families would be taken at least 2 hours before the ceremony. They said it's fine and we can take our own pictures the day after my graduation, but I got up and left dinner. Over the weekend, I saw people on my class group chat complain that they didn't get enough tickets, so I offered up the 2 tickets I had and met up with a girl from my class to give them to her. And even though I told her not to, she actually paid me the original price for them. When the topic of graduation was brought up by my dad today during lunch, I told him that I gave the other 2 tickets away and only my mum will be attending, so they shouldn't bother with the after party. He got mad and asked why I would do that, to which I replied that I don't see the point in wasting money on tickets if they're not going to use them. My dad blew up on me, saying I'm acting like a spoiled brat, and it's not like I'll die if he and my sister are a bit late for my graduation. I spoke to a few people about it, my friends and my grandma. My friend said good riddance, if they consider their plans more important, they can have fun. But my grandma said that while she understands my side, I shouldn't have given away the tickets just to spite my dad, because maybe he would have changed his mind and gone on time. So I'm looking for non-biased opinions. Am I the arsehole? Edit for info. The plans my dad and sister have is some sleepover with her and her friend group in the north, around a 2-hour drive from where we live. The parents didn't want to leave a bunch of under 16-year-olds alone that far, so everyone's parents are also going for supervision, apart from my mum, who's going to be at my graduation. So I just looked up valedictorian as well on Google, and it says it's the academic title for the highest performing student of a graduating class of an academic institution. So if that's the case, and I've not just read that completely wrong, that's absolutely amazing achievement. And I would hope that any parent or family member would want to attend and see that. That's absolutely incredible. Congratulations on that, OP. And I'm sorry that you're having to deal with this shit so far. I'm super glad that your mum is going to be attending as well though. And I don't quite agree with grandma in this situation either about you not giving those tickets away. Sure, you might have done it out of spite, but he showed his attitude when he blew up on you and said you're acting like a spoiled brat. And it's not like you'll die if him and his sister are late. So it just showed the attitude towards it, not very, very blasé, really doesn't care too much by the sounds of it. And I think you did a kind thing by allowing some other family members of another child to be able to attend. But Trick Parsley says, thank God your mum supports you. Not only graduation, but also being the valedictorian of your class. Great job. I'm saddened that your father and sister are not celebrating your great accomplishments with you. It just baffles me. I don't even know you, but I'm excited for you. You did the right thing. Not the arsehole, but your dad and sister are the arseholes. They have or had 364 days to do their sleepover. Like, what the fuck? By the way, congrats on your accomplishments. Opie says thank you. Yes, my mum had been kind of my rock throughout high school. I'm really grateful for her. Ashley Buck says, in quotes, because maybe he would have changed his mind and gone on time. And says, no. They have made it clear they're not prioritizing your achievements by any means. I'm sorry they don't seem to care. Not the arsehole. Congrats on graduating and being valedictorian. You have a lot to be proud of. Deep Advertising says not the arsehole. You're learning young that people are who they are and you should treat them accordingly. You're the valedictorian and they actually say they had plans before your graduation, leading you to believe that they didn't think it was important enough for them to attend. And then you gave the tickets away. And they are upset. They are so wrong. Just wrong. Congratulations on your achievement. I hope you do just as well in college, and I hope they have learned their lesson and will be present for the next graduation ceremony. And a final comment which says, as a high school valedictorian who gave the speech, let me say, I would have disowned either of my parents if they had even suggested not coming. My grandparents drove over 500 miles to hear that speech. It's incomprehensible to me that any parent would say such a thing to a child who has achieved that much. Shocking. You can't be the arsehole, because there is a black hole like arsehole vortex in your family, and you know exactly where it is. So OP comes in to update their post and says, hey everyone, first of all I want to thank you all for the interaction on my original post got, which I ended up showing to my mum. We had a laugh together at some of the comments about my dad, and she wanted me to tell you she appreciated the kind words about her as well. My graduation was today. So here's an update to my original post a couple of days ago. Although it was just my mum and I, the day went really well. We took probably 100 photos together, both with the school photographer and on my mum's camera. The girl I gave tickets to, as well as her family, even took photos with my mum and I. I gave my speech in front of the families of maybe 100 plus students. My school has 3 different programs, so lots of people, and was even surprised with certificates of excellence in psychology and IT when the time came for me to get my diploma. As for my dad and sister, my sister has been spamming her social media with videos of her sleepover with her friends, which I'm honestly unbothered. My friends and I ended up ditching the after party anyways and went for dinner in the city with our parents instead. Overall, while I'm disappointed my entire family wasn't there, I'm more than happy with it just being my mum and I honestly feel like I had more fun with her alone than I would have if the rest of my family showed up. And there was a string of comments below the update, so Freestart said, congratulations, I'm glad you had a good time and I hope your dad is still in the doghouse. Did you or your mum show him this thread? Opie says thank you, my mum and I were having a laugh and she suggested sending him a link to my original post a few hours ago. So I told her to go for it, we'll see his reaction soon. Candid reply saying, please come back and share his reaction. OP says, let's just say someone went to stay at his mother's house last night and we got a call from her reprimanding my mum and I. Restart replies to that saying, oh dear, well she can keep him then. OP says, no way, that's exactly what my mum told her. He ran home to mummy. Oh no. God damn, mum's taking no shit in this situation. I find it absolutely sad though, because doesn't the dad realise that one day that OP's not going to forget this? This was a massive day for OP and the dad was just sort of like, you know, you're not going to die if we miss it, but she's going to remember it. And the thought of your child thinking of you in this way, it's got to hurt, man. Maybe it doesn't for him, but I can only imagine it doing so. But anyway, now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Powerful Argument 15 in, who says, I threw away my husband's collection and now he won't speak to me. My husband considers himself an art connoisseur, when he's not. He filled his home office and the hallway with his collection, which he inherited from his grandfather. The point is that his grandfather got scammed and most of the paintings, statuettes and artifacts, like guns, books, ship models, are fakes or reproductions. Very few real pieces. My husband knows, but he liked it as a kid and so he kept it, adding stuff over the years. He always bought fakes, or he pros too, saying he likes how they look and he wouldn't bankrupt us like that. To be honest, I couldn't stand that assortment of random knickknacks, especially because they aren't worth a thing. His hallway and office looked like a kid's idea of a museum. He was always on a trip 2 weeks ago and I seized the occasion to put all the stuff in storage and give a restyling to his office. I figured he'd get upset but eventually accept it. When he came back, he got silent. I reassured him I didn't throw any of his knickknacks. just put them in storage and that I liked his room much better now, and his grandmother should have done the same for his grandfather. He said that the rest of the house is already in my style and he accepted it, but the office and hallway were his space. I reassured him he will like it better with time. But a week has passed and he looks depressed. He stopped spending time in his room, barely talks to me, and even refuses intimacy. He acts indifferent and told me I can get rid of the few things I kept. I'm starting to think I overstepped. Did I make a mistake? I'm considering apologizing and getting his stuff back in his office. And we're starting the comments with Sleepy Dreamer, who says you did overstep. This is major disrespect. These things were important to him and it doesn't matter if you like them or not. Even if it was the ugliest object you have ever seen, you should still accept his feelings about it. This is about something more than just objects. This is showing him that his opinion doesn't matter to you and that he can't trust you. You should apologize immediately and let him know you really do realize it was a wrong thing to do. Adventurous Sand says you're considering apologizing. I'm hoping this post is fake, but just in case, yes, you overstepped. You were completely inconsiderate. Yes, you owe your husband a massive apology, and yes, you need to get his stuff back out of storage. And yes, you need to start thinking about your husband's feelings. Your husband's feelings matter. Just in case you were focused on yourself, you didn't realize. How long will be too long says this is cruel and unfair. Is it true that the whole house is in your preferred style? Why is that? Why is he not interested, or were you not willing to budge on a specific aesthetic? You should both feel that the home reflects your taste and interests. If he didn't want to participate in decorating, then it isn't fair to throw that in your face. But if you were being domineering and inflexible and so he backed off, then this is just another insult to add to the injury. And one more comment from Primer, who says, you're so damn disrespectful, it's a shame. He told you the whole house is in your style and that wasn't enough for you. You had to have the one space that he had because you're a power-tripping egomaniac. So because you don't like something or value it, does that mean he shouldn't? Who cares if it's fake? He likes it, but that is not enough for you. I mean, how dare he has anything in your house? Do you even like the man? Because we know you don't love him. And you can imagine Opie got absolutely torn apart in the comments, and rightfully so. Now, Opie knew it was going to upset. They said themselves, I figured he'd be upset, but he'll eventually accept it. And it was nothing about what he liked. You said, oh, I like this room much better now. And then you reassured him that he will like it better with time. The way it was all said in that just gave me the ick. It just really made me feel bad for him. But Opie came in with her first tiny little update, which was on the same post, and said, update guys, I hear you. I fucked up big time and I know it. I'll ask him if he can forgive me, and I will get back all his stuff. I'll also offer to display some of his stuff in the living room as a peace offering. But Opie comes in with her next update, which says, hey guys, I know I fucked up big time and your comments just reinforced that feeling. I went to my husband, gave him a massive apology and told him I'd really like to get back his collection and get his office and hallway like they were before. I also apologized for going behind his back and violating his safe space the way I did. I also offered to let him display some pieces in our bedroom and living room, and next time he spots something he would like to add to his collection, I'm paying for it. He accepted my apology and forgave me. We spent the afternoon getting his stuff back in place. It's not worth it to create a rift between us for this. I might not like his taste in art, but I love this man, and if he's happy, I'm happy too. Thank you for all the comments and the tough love. I really needed it. And the update on that one, we got another update in a second, gave me sort of like mixed feelings about it. I'm always happy to see when someone gets responses and then changes their behavior and realizing how much they fucked up and trying to correct that, which I was happy to see. But then I read the bit where it said, he accepted my apology, forgave me, and they spent the afternoon putting the stuff back in place, and then said it's not worth it to create a rift between us for this. So it almost made me feel like, her mindset still hasn't changed. He still has no control. It's just not worth the argument. But things come across very different in text format, so who knows. But anyway, Opie comes in with her next update and says, I saw my story on TikTok and discovered it had been shared across Reddit, and many people commented. I read all the comments and they got me thinking about our marriage and how it's starting to mirror the one of my parents. My mother has always been very controlling with my father. She's what people would call a one-tone nag, always moaning and complaining about something, and this is the main reason I keep my distance from her. My father is a quiet man who avoids all conflict, and my husband is kinda like him. Now I am realizing I'm becoming exactly like my mother. I admit I didn't outright throw away my husband's stuff because a part of me knew that if I did, it would have done damage that couldn't be repaired. But I still do many little things that my mother would do, like swapping the clothes he picks in the morning with the ones I think look better, or suggesting him what to post on social media or put as a profile picture on WhatsApp. I had a long conversation with my husband and asked him how he really feels about my behaviors. He said he's mostly fine with them, but sometimes I can be a bit too intense. I asked him to elaborate, and he admitted that sometimes I can be suffocating. He said sometimes I do this even when we are sleeping, such as when I spread my leg on him and weigh down on him to not make him move. I admit I teared up listening to all this, and although he assured me he's not even thinking about leaving me, I don't want to make him miserable like my father is. I asked if I should go to therapy and to try to mitigate my behavior. He said he would support me if I did, so now I'm shopping for therapists. He also said he'd be open for marriage counseling if I wanted to, and I am considering it. Hopefully our relationship is not too damaged and I can try to be more patient and understanding partner like he is with me. And that was a more interesting update than the last. It showed some real self-reflection in there when she realized that she was becoming just like her mother. It's like, fuck, let's change that behavior quick. Which I think is only a good thing. Some of the comments saying, he should run, etc. But it seems like he's got no intention of doing so. But it's nice to see that they recognize his behavior and plan to change it. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from the Petty Revenge subreddit. It does have an update as well from Secret Pies, who says, "You didn't realize you married someone so lazy, huh?" Last week, my husband and I went shopping. We came out of one shop and wanted to go to another, which was on the other side of the car park. We walked over and there were no trolleys, shopping carts for anyone outside the UK. What we wanted was packed into 4 heavy boxes and was awkward to carry across a large car park. So I said I'll drive the car over. It's one of those shops where you order at the till and they bring it from the warehouse to the till and you take it to your car. Well, he called me lazy for wanting to move the car. I tried explaining my side, but no, he was adamant I was lazy. I went and moved the car because fuck, I was putting my back out carrying an outdoor table and chairs set to the car. He berated whilst we waited in the queue, calling me lazy, saying he didn't realize he married someone so lazy, etc. I ended up leaving the shop without the table and chairs because he kept pushing for a reaction. Today we went back to said shops. He said he would go get the table and chairs while I went into another shop. Guess what? No trolleys or shopping carts. He rang me and asked me to drive the car over. Did I? Did I fuck? That's lazy. He started to get pissed and realized he didn't have a leg to stand on. He carried each box separately from the shop to the car. 4 trips there and back. Each time he asked me to move the car and I said it was lazy. I didn't realize I married someone so lazy. Edits for all the people getting their panties in a twist. No, I'm not nesting. The furniture is for my parents. Yes, I'm waiting on a lawyer to do their thing, and I can serve him the divorce papers. Holy moly, this is getting crazy. Edit 2 just woke up to hundreds of Reddit notifications. I'm not going to read all the comments, but I skimmed a few and Jesus, some of the speculation is wild, lol. You could have just asked me for more info, but I guess that would have ruined your narrative, lol. Some of you really have 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place. I contacted my lawyer regarding divorce 10 days ago. This petty revenge happened yesterday. We'll hand in the papers with witnesses just in case his behavior takes a turn for the worse again. He's recently starting to threaten me with beatings. What if I don't comply? He's treated me like shit for way too long. No matter how many times I've communicated with him about it, he still continues to treat me like shit. His escalation to threats of violence proves to me he doesn't care. I'm not begging him to treat me better anymore. I deserve better. If that makes me an arsehole, then so be it. I'm an arsehole. You know when a story just out of nowhere just knocks you? This is one of those stories. This one went from an argument in shops about some furniture and being lazy to threats of domestic violence, like in a few lines. But OP did come back into that post to update sometime later and said, so I'll keep it brief. My mind is a bit jumbled at the moment, so sorry if this doesn't make sense. The divorce papers came Wednesday evening. I gave them to him yesterday morning. It's now Friday morning as I type this, all UK time. My brother and two of my brother's friends, both of husband's parents and his brother were present. Police on standby. Only my brother and his friends knew what was about to happen. My brother's friends were waiting outside in case shit kicked off. My brother was recording the whole thing, and thank fuck he did. Husband threw all his toys at the pram, punching holes in the walls, ripped some doors off the hinges, destroying my things, threatening to kill me, threatened to kill himself. He tried to get to the kitchen to get a knife, and it wasn't great. His parents were shocked and tried to get him to calm down, but he ended up hurting his mum. By this point, the police were already nearly here, and he was arrested. I had nothing but apology messages from his side of the family, saying they had no idea he was like this. I sent them the voice recordings I had from the past few months of him threatening me and explained how he changed since our wedding day. The house we're in is rented, so all the damage will have to be fixed. The lease is up in 6 months, but I'll be requesting to terminate the contract and looking to buy my own place far away from him. Won't be doing another update in the future, so feel free to ask if you want more info. I look forward to all the wild speculation regardless. No speculation from me, I just really hope that you're okay and you are far away from that situation. I'm glad you're safe, basically. My word, what an absolute scary situation. Once again though, OP, I'm glad you're safe, and thank you for that new line of 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place. I will definitely be using that in the future, stealing that one. Anyway, what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. And much love.